Well, we look at this stuff all the time. Whether we're watching a golfing event on TV or the Super Bowl, we see turf on television that is actually grown right here in Tifton. We're talking about turf, and I'm hanging out with a researcher that knows a thing or two, a bunch, about this stuff, and that's Dr. Jing Zhang. Doc, good to meet you and be with you today. Thanks so much. I love her hat too. Tifton is the kind of stuff that's grown right here. And what we're going to do together today is first start out using a low-tech method of studying turf. And Doc, that involves grading this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to do this by hand, no technology yet. So if I am the viewer at home out here with you today, how are we going to grade some of these plots that are in front of us now to determine how well they're doing? What would you say?
Well, for example, if we are grading turf grass quality, and we have a scale 1 to 9, okay. 1 being the worst looking turf, and 9 being the perfect turf you can imagine. So keep that in mind, and we do have a middle value, which is 6. It's a minimum acceptable level. So with that in mind, we're grading this based on, if you're grading turf quality, it's more like a combined trade. You are considering the turf color, how uniform the turf canopy is, and the texture of the leaf, and how big of the area covered, how quickly it is established. So it's like an overall evaluation, which puts a lot of complication in the number that you're deciding.
So we're going to take this scoring system and let's walk down through this together. You're going to do this with me, and I'm going to learn about the scoring system with everyone at home, and we're going to realize that you're the expert looking at this. So teach me, as you look at this plot right here, what would you score this as? When you think about color and density and those things, what would you say?
Well, the first thing I thought about, is it acceptable in my home lawn?
In your home lawn,
yeah.
Okay.
Is this acceptable?
I'm not much on the landscaping, but to me, I might say unacceptable for me.
Yeah, so it's definitely less than 6.
Okay.
So I will put 4.
4 for that, all right. Yeah. Looking at this, same area, same field. We're gonna go down here and maybe look at this guy?
Yeah.
Okay, what are we thinking about this? Maybe it needs to be mowed. That's the first thing I'm thinking.
Yes.
I can hear somebody in my neighborhood now.
It is the growing, faster growing grass, and it's established pretty well. So I will give it 7.
All right.
Would you agree?
I agree. I'd say 7 or 8, a little bit better, obviously, than that. But then I look at something like this, and it looks like this is another cultivar. This is another species. This looks like it's been trampled. You're telling me these 3 have been planted at the same time?
Right.
Under
they
the same growing
species.
Interesting.
They're both Bermuda. They're all Bermuda grass.
Wow. So what would you grade this?
In this case, I would compare those two, and let's see if this is worse than that or better than that.
I would say this is worse than number 1. No hurt feelings to the grass, but
yeah, then you'll give it 3.
Okay, so a lesser grade here, all the same species. We're doing this just ocularly with our eyes. Technology helps to minimize the variability, I think, that anyone could put into this. Let's add a little science to this, and let's take a look at how they use drones to do this very thing. So let's go there next.
We do have 2 cameras on this drone.
Okay.
We have a multi-spectrum camera, which takes plant reflectance at 4 different bands, so we can calculate vegetation indexes to indicate how healthy the plant is. Huh. And then we do have a thermal camera here. It can measure the canopy temperature. So usually canopy temperature is very tricky to measure, and it changes so fast. If we can get a snapshot like in a second of all the plant together, that's much more accurate. It can offer us more information. And I'm trying to grasp all this stuff too with you, and I'm curious about thermal and temperature in a place like Tifton. This is a place that's fairly rough to grow. I like your hat, tough. It's a rough place to grow in. Right. So if turf can do well here, your assumption is it can do really well somewhere else. Yeah, I guess that is why Tifton is a breeding hub of this region, but also we still need to do multi-location testing, of course.
And that's so important. And using the technology, I'm even thinking about students that can be involved in this and integrating technology. We talk about agricultural intelligence instead of artificial intelligence and what it can tell us. And even from just a sexiness standpoint of agriculture, this is cool stuff. And imagine using technology to do this. What I want to do next is I want to go from the use of the drones and go into the use of an ATV. And I've heard that you all take pictures with that on the ground as well. And I want to show the folks at home how y'all do that and how interesting that is. So let's go there next. Well, you're looking at a good shot there of a couple of my colleagues driving around there, checking out the turf. Barbara and Jason, they're part of a USDA-funded grant that looks at drought tolerance in some of that turf grass. And what you're looking at here, they were driving around in a very special ATV. And Doc, this isn't part of some normal project you might have going on. This is something that's quite unique. It has a camera on the front. The camera is pointed down at the grass. I know that we're taking pictures of the grass, but talk to us about why. What are you taking pictures of there?
So we're using this camera to take pictures on salt production perspective. So we're taking a picture of the grass and identify if there's weeds in there. Then we can create a weed map for the herbicide sprayer to use. So we only apply herbicide to where the weeds are instead of broadcast. That would reduce our herbicide significantly.
Oh my gosh, and the environmental impacts of that. So this data is uploaded. You're able then to use another machine that will go out and pinpoint and spray herbicides exactly where they're needed, reducing that herbicide use and the environmental implications of that.
Right.
Incredible, and it just looks cool. It looks even better with my colleagues driving around in that thing. Gang, I tell you what, I gotta give a big shout out to Dr. Jerome over there. Jerome is part of our USDA funded grant, and he is with us and is part of this whole gang here today, and I'm so thankful that we've been funded to study some of this. I'm a communication person on this grant, and I have sure learned a lot. Doc, thanks so much for your time today as well. Y'all know what to do. While you're online learning more stuff about turf grass, hop on over to the Farm Monitor Facebook page and see what those guys have got going on. And while you're there, check out the Ranger Nick Facebook page and check out what I've got going on. Until next time, for the Farm Monitor, I'm Ranger Nick, reminding you, as I always do, that enthusiasm is contagious. So pass it on. Y'all, thanks so much for watching. We'll look forward to seeing you right back here again, this time next month. See ya.